Newton did not discover gravity sitting in his laboratory under a deadline. The idea came to him when he was relaxing under a tree.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into Nodes of Design. To help support our mission spread knowledge, we have a very special guest on today's episode. Let's welcome Tanushree Bishnoi, who is an engineer with a master's degree in clinical drug design. Tanushree is a perfect example that science and spirituality can walk together. As a teacher with Art of Living, she has been facilitating youth empowerment programs for over a decade, and she has trained thousands of youths on the mind management and meditation. On this episode, we had discussed about the importance of meditation in a creative person's life and how one can utilize the power of meditation to unwind the creativity inside us. Along with these, we also discussed on how to handle self-doubt and pressure of comparison with others following few meditative techniques. Hope you guys enjoy this episode, and on every Friday we release a new episode with a new creative leader around the world to help you understand different topics related to design. So don't forget to tune in into Notes of Design on every Friday. Said with that, happy designing everyone. Hi Tanushree, welcome to Nodes of Design. It's pleasure hosting you today on our show.
Hi Paige, it's so good to be here with you.
So how was your day, Tanushree?
My day was actually quite fantastic. I just finished teaching 3 meditation programs to medical students and doctors. So it was very fulfilling. I had a lovely time today.
So Tanushree, if you could give a brief about you to our audience out there.
So my name is Tanushree, and I've been a trainer with the Art of Living for over 11 years now. I've been associated with Art of Living for over 17 years. It has been a phenomenal journey. I'm an engineer, but I think somewhere my passion was to engineer minds. And so it has found me on this path.
That's great, Tanushree. So thank you so much. So on today's topic, we are going to discuss on meditation, Unwind to unlock your creativity. So
Yes.
Why don't you take us through your journey of like how you turned from an engineer to a meditator?
So Tej, my journey, I think, began with a friend of mine sharing about this program with me when I was in my second year of undergrad studies. And I'm a curious person, something new comes my way. I want to go check it out, So I went to the program and thinking it would be something, like how you expect yoga programs to be. But what was in store for me was very, very unique, very different. After the program was over, actually, I saw a huge difference in the way I was studying as a student, the way I was communicating with my parents, with my friends. There was a very marked, undeniable difference in my perspective, in my behavior. I don't know how exactly to describe it. I was a happier, more focused person, right? And I was liking it. So I started doing the practice daily, and it inspired a lot of my friends in college to go and experience the program. So many of them still practice. But I think the bigger change happened for me when I moved for my master's to Singapore. And it was a research degree and extremely hectic. And the techniques that I had learned during this program helped me a huge deal over there, keeping the focus till the end of the day. Mistakes were less in my experiments. I was seeing a marked change in the way I was finding solutions. So it helped me.
That's great. So that's how you took this path of meditation.
Yes.
Thanks. So I wanted to know, in these tough situations and we being creatives, our mind is something that keeps on running like horses. So until and unless we run like horse, we can't actually produce some great designs out there to help solve some real life problems. So how meditation is a very useful factor, or how creative professionals can get benefit from meditation?
See, Tej, you just compared yourself with the dynamism of moving forward, right? Like a horse, you said.
Yes.
But just as an arrow to be shot forward, first needs to be pulled back, right? So if you want to be dynamic in your action, it is extremely important that we first learn how to rest well as well. A tired mind can hardly ever come up with extremely creative ideas.
Exactly.
A stressed out, exhausted mind can maybe fulfill the deadline. But if you're looking for an ingenious thought, then that comes from a mind that is relaxed, isn't it?
True. Exactly.
So you look at all the inventions. Yeah, you look at all the inventions in history. Newton did not discover gravity sitting in his laboratory under a deadline.
Yes.
The idea came to him when he was relaxing under a tree, when he had let go of the stress. And then the thought comes, that ingenious, that creative, that once in a century idea of brilliance sparks when the mind is calm. So I think we have, as a society, put so much emphasis on simply the external aspect of working and not so much on what happens internally to propel that action. Meditation plays that role. Meditation helps you relax so deeply, rest so deeply, that those ideas begin to come and that you feel energized to really work to your fullest potential. Not just creative professionals, it helps everyone do their best in their life.
Thank you so much, Tanushree, for explaining us deep levels of meditation. So now I wanted to know what exactly is mind and how to effectively manage the mind.
So, Tej, this word mind has been used so loosely for so long that we have really just forgotten what it actually means. See, right now, you are listening to me. You would say you're listening to me through your ears. But I would ask you to delve a little deeper and see what really is listening. Is it just the ears that are listening to me, or is it your mind listening to me through your ears? So that is the role of the mind. What the mind does is it perceives the world through the five senses. It is actually the mind that is observing, perceiving, gathering information through the five senses. And now, if you notice your mind, it has a few tendencies. A human mind has this tendency that the mind keeps oscillating between the past and the future. Yeah, if you notice right now, maybe you're here taking this podcast, you're recording with me, but already in your mind, something is going on. Oh, after this is over, I need to do this. Yeah, or I need to plan for that. Oh, I still haven't done that. Or your mind is going in the past. Before I started this, did I finish that? I had to do that. No, I had to send that mail. Is that done? This is something the human mind does sometimes even without us recognizing. The mind is constantly running. And so a very important point that the mind misses is the present moment. And if we are talking about productivity or efficiency or focus or joy, it all exists as a function of the present moment. So if we want to feel all of this in our life or want to experience all of this, we need to bring our mind by hook or by crook to the present moment, right? Otherwise, efficiency has no meaning. You can't be efficient unless you are here now. Mistakes happen when your mind is not here and now. So what does meditation help with? It brings the mind to the present moment. And another thing that really helps with that is the breath. Our mind is terribly tricky to handle. You tell yourself, I am going to forget this person. I'm absolutely going to forget this person. You actually end up remembering them more. So at the level of the mind, effort does not work. We need to use some tricks. And it has been found that the breath has a profound impact on the mind. So learning some breath work, learning some meditation, it can make such a huge difference in how our mind is.
Thank you so much, Tanushree, for sharing your knowledge on that. There's another part to this question, how to manage mind effectively. So are there any tips and suggestions, or our audience can also feel the vibes of meditation?
So a couple of things, Tej, that can help are, number one, a little bit of awareness. Awareness simply means being observant towards yourself. A lot of times we are so caught up in what's happening that we lose focus of what's happening inside us. So a little bit of our awareness when it is inside, when some part of us is watching, then it can help. For sure it can help. But again, I would say, this is my experience, that simply some words of advice usually don't work when it comes to the mind. Yeah, I could give you some nice 5 very fancy sounding tips about mind and meditation. But when you are in a moment of stress, you will not remember them. What really helps is a technique. You need to take out a little bit of your time and learn a technique of breathing or a technique of meditation and practicing it every day. For a short while, all of us can take out about 10-15 minutes a day, and practicing that for a short while every day, that practice brings about the change. Otherwise, what happens is I could share something now, but it will remain a theoretical concept, not really become an experience for you. I would recommend rather every creative professional, especially because you are using the right side of your brain. It's very, very important that you learn something that relaxes the mind, that allows you to go into that sphere of intuitive thought.
Thank you so much, Tanushree, for explaining us the benefits of meditation and giving us some tips on calming our mind. Now, the major problem with us, the creatives, is like handling the self-doubt part and the pressure of, being compared with someone else. Because design is, or creatives are something which you can't compare because there's someone always better than you. And that self-doubt always kills us from inside. So any tips on that?
Tej, this is such a relevant question because, like you said very correctly, comparison just crops up or pops up. You don't really plan to do it. You can't be compared. But still, when you look at somebody's work, instantly something happens in the mind, right? Let me begin by the self-doubt bit that you asked. Look, to understand doubt, we need to understand another thing in us, which is called prana. Prana simply means life force energy. The energy that's keeping you alive, the energy that's coursing through me. Yeah, whatever bit of us, which is life, is prana. Now, when prana is high, we feel more confident, happy, focused, enthusiastic, and so on. And when the prana is low, the first manifestation of that is doubt. And first, you doubt yourself, and then you doubt others. You doubt what you have learned. You doubt your very presence in that situation. It's a downward spiral. It goes so quickly that nobody can help. When self-doubt has taken place in your head, when you begin to second guess everything you're doing, hardly anything helps. Because even if someone's telling you you are really good, something in you is not accepting that. Something in you is not believing that person totally. So the way to come out of self-doubt is very simple, is to take care of the prana. How do you do that? By 4 things. First, taking care of your food. What you're putting inside you plays a huge role in how your mind is. So if you are feeling gutted or you're feeling, down and under because of some reason, I would say for a couple of days, eat lighter, eat fresh fruits, freshly cooked meals, something easy to digest. Second factor is sleep. When you've had enough sleep, when you're having deep, restful sleep, you wake up with higher prana. And you will feel yourself being less doubtful on such days. The third is the breath. Like I said earlier, it would help a lot in learning some sort of breathing techniques or pranayam, which can help you regulate that. And the fourth is a happy meditative mind. A happy mind also gives you prana. So take out some time and do what you really thoroughly enjoy doing. Maybe for you, it could be music or dancing or just going for a walk. Take out a little bit of time, do something other than what you have been doing the whole day, and you'll see that it brings about a shift, brings about a change. So it is all about, your mind is linked with the energy in your system. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Tanushree, for helping us clear out the major part, because that's something every creative feels ever now and then. Even I myself have been through that journey, and I'll also try to implement these 4 techniques the very next time if I feel low at something. Thank you so much. So the other part, now coming to the major thing, which is like unwinding to unlock our creativity. Are there any like specific techniques like breathing or anything else that a creative professional should do to unlock their creativity to the maximum potential?
Yes, Paige, the first thing is to realize that creativity is not an external phenomenon. I think you already must have experienced that somewhere or the other, isn't it? You can get your inputs from outside. But something in you that springs up with an idea, it springs up with a solution. That's something, if someone asks you, where did you get that creative thought from? I don't think anybody would be able to answer that correctly. If someone asks a poet, where did this poem come from? He would have no answer. It just came up. It just sprung up. Since creativity is such an inherent and organic process, or happening, I would say, not even a process. So the more we are in tune with ourselves, the closer we are to our creative self. The more we are hooked on to what's outside, to that extent we lose touch with that creativity. Because all children are creative. If you see, every small child is innately creative because they are so natural. They are so in tune with themselves. So doing something that helps you get in touch with that in you, with yourself, can really help you unlock your true potential when it comes to creativity. Otherwise, you will notice that sometimes we are driven by our influences so much, right? Like if you are an artist and you're always looking at art of others, you soon see elements of other people's art start reflecting in your work. Maybe one thing that I would suggest you could try is that suppose you are working in design, you could expose yourself to art, but not perhaps in design, but maybe in music. Or if you're a musician, you could expose yourself in art in the form of painting or, the physical art. So doing something that still stays connected with the art aspect, but in a different form, can give you some beautiful ideas. And another thing that could help is, of course, getting in touch with that stillness in us. And I'm again and again re-emphasizing, because I think this is what really works, is learning meditation, and practicing it, because it gives you such a clean slate to begin with, every day a clean slate, so that you learn from others, but the expression is so unique, so different.
Thank you so much, Tanushree. That really helps us unwinding our creativity now. On a concluding note, if you could suggest any favorite reads of yours.
Actually, I love reading. So this question, I am more than happy to answer. I would pick 3 for today. The first book that I really, really recommend everybody to read is called Celebrating Silence. It's a book written by Shri Ravishankar ji. Actually, it is compiled from his talks. It's not written by him, but it has these beautiful nuggets of wisdom about every single thing that you may have a question about. So, it's a 1-page chapter. The whole book is full of 1-page chapters about anything from anger, love, jealousy, faith, doubt, you name it. Every topic you will find there. So for me, this particular book has helped me overcome some quite challenging times in my life. This book was a source of a lot of strength. So I hope that if someone who's listening to this goes and reads this, I'm sure that it'll help them. That is the first one I'd pick. And the second would be from one of my favorite authors, Terry Pratchett. He writes, he was, in fact, he's no more, but he was one of the most brilliant minds, I think, that has walked the planet. And there is a very humorous book that he wrote called Wyrd Sisters. And that book is such a lovely combination of insane humor, like you will literally laugh out loud reading that book. But along with that, such a beautiful perspective of the world. It has a bit of spirituality in it. It has some magic in it. It has some fantasy in it. I go back to that book ever so often. I love that book. That would be my second recommendation. And my third recommendation would be this amazing book I read a couple of years back called Stumbling into Infinity. And it is written by this person called Michael Fischman. He is also an Art of Living faculty. He has been with Art of Living for over 30 years. And he has written this book about his journey. He was an advertising professional working with O&M in the US. And then he chanced upon this course and how his journey has been over these 30 years on a path that he never expected to walk on. It is such a lovely account, and it breaks a lot of myths about spirituality. A lot of people have some preconceived notions of what spiritual people are like. This book will surely shatter those myths. It's a lovely book. I highly recommend it.
Thank you so much, Tanushree, for sharing your reading list with us. Thank you so much for your time and coming to our show and helping us spread knowledge.
Thank you, Tej. It was so lovely being with you here today and sharing whatever little bit I know about this field, because it's extremely vast, just like creativity. Something to help the creative professionals who are listening to this talk today. We are running online programs called the Meditation and Breath programs. They teach some very practical and simple techniques of breath and meditation that can help any creative professional to unlock their true potential by unwinding, relaxing, and getting truly in touch with their creative self.
Thank you so much, Tanushree, for helping us provide the link. Said with that, thank you so much once again, Tanushree, for coming on Notes of Design and sharing your knowledge.
Thank you. It was lovely being here. You know, man.